Most of us carry a weight we've stopped questioning. Worries, frustrations, memories, expectations. Our days are full of work, deadlines, family obligations, difficult people, decisions that carry weight. The mind moves from one concern to the next. Even in silence, it keeps replaying, planning, and anticipating. Tension builds so slowly we stop noticing it, but we carry it. And without realizing it, we begin to see the entire world through the weight we carry. We look around. Everyone seems to live the same way, so we assume this is how life is. This is who we are, and we can't help it. But that is a mistake. We have confused ourselves with our conditioning, with the habits of our mind. There are many ways to work with this, but Vipassana is one of the most transformative. It is an ancient technique that goes beyond surface-level relaxation. It transforms how the unconscious mind operates. The approach is simple. Instead of analyzing your many stories, it trains attention on the present moment, on the body, on sensation. By observing without reacting, the emotional charge slowly loses its grip. Not just the anger that erupts or the grief that overwhelms, but also the low-grade irritation you stop noticing, the subtle bracing before a difficult conversation, the quiet wait that follows you from room to room, unnamed, but never absent. This, too, loses its grip. And slowly, we find a steadier way of meeting life, clearer, more balanced. Vipassana trains the mind to observe body sensations with equanimity. Equanimity means a balanced mind, one that does not engage in the emotional charge of sensations. It simply observes. The instruction could not be simpler. Do not crave the pleasant. Do not avert the unpleasant. Just observe. This is not done by forcing concentration or straining. It is done by systematically moving attention through the body. Some traditions scan from head to toe. Others note sensations as they arise. The method varies, but the principle is the same. Training attention on physical experience with total balance. Over time, something shifts. The mind begins to settle. Sensations become more subtle. The compulsion to react weakens. Old conditioning starts to lose its grip. This is not a theory. It is training, direct, repeatable, and physiological. However, while the technique is simple, the mind is not. It resists. It wanders. It quietly rewrites the instructions to suit its habits. It is always looking for something special, a dramatic experience, or a sign of progress to crave. This is why the technique cannot truly be learned from a book or a video. It requires a retreat, a qualified teacher, and sustained practice. A teacher sees what we don't, where we have strayed, where we are forcing, and where craving or aversion has crept back in, unnoticed. Evolution is a blind designer. It programs survival through basic impulses like hunger, pain, fear, and lust. At a deeper level, these drives are translated into a single signal with two flavors: pleasant, unpleasant. We don't avoid hunger through reason. We avoid it because it is unpleasant. We don't check our phones for information. We check them because boredom feels unpleasant. We don't chase success as a rational goal. We chase it because being admired feels pleasant. Our emotions are many: anger, grief, shame, joy, love, awe, and many more. Each has its own texture, its own story, its own name. But at the core, they carry only those two flavors: pleasant, unpleasant. As humans, we have developed an extraordinary capacity for imagination and abstract thought, but the older parts of our brain have not caught up. They often cannot distinguish between a stimulus coming from the outside and one generated by the imagination. Both produce the same bodily sensations. The unconscious mind constantly monitors these body sensations and triggers actions, depending on their flavor. Some reactions are hardwired, pulling a hand from a hot surface, blinking at a sudden light. But most go through a deeper unconscious processing, shaped by memory, habit, and the residue of past reactions. Most of our reactions happen automatically. We don't choose them. We only become aware of them after the fact. In reality, we are on autopilot most of the time, in our thoughts, our habits, even our relationships. Vipassana does not try to dismantle the autopilot. It simply allows you to look over the pilot's shoulder. It trains the mind to feel subtle sensations within the body, revealing how they trigger automatic reactions. By observing these sensations with equanimity, instead of reacting, you break the chain of conditioned behavior. You begin to see that every sensation is merely a signal, not a command, and the compulsion to react naturally loses its hold. This awareness, developed in meditation, slowly spreads to daily life. We begin to respond to stimuli differently. Sensation arises, you observe. The compulsion fires, you do not obey. Over time, the gap between stimulus and response widens. In that gap, a new capacity appears: to choose, rather than merely react. The autopilot's authority begins to fade. You are not the master of your experience, but you become the master of your response to it. Gradually, the equanimity we develop through the practice pervades the unconscious. The inner turmoil settles. The mind's compulsion to think weakens. When attention is no longer consumed by inner thoughts and sensations, the mind gains the capacity to see more clearly and feel more deeply. This work does not stop with us. As we react less, the people around us feel it. Fewer uncontrolled reactions. Fewer unnecessary conflicts. Relationships begin to shift, not because we tried to fix them, but because we became steadier within ourselves. Now we can choose. We can respond more wisely, instead of reacting blindly. Then, something deeper begins to unfold. As we see our own conditioning clearly, we start to see others differently. We recognize They too are driven by their unconscious programming. Their difficult behavior was rarely a free choice, it was a reaction, conditioned, automatic, just like our own. We see how they suffer from it, how their own patterns cause them pain they never asked for. This seeing is not conceptual. It is a felt truth, now that the mind is calm enough to perceive what we used to miss. And in that seeing, something arises on its own. Not pity, not judgment. A deep and genuine compassion for them and for ourselves. We are all in this together. And that is no longer just a sentiment. It is something we feel deeply. What we've seen so far is already significant. Less reactivity, more steadiness, and a mind that sees more clearly. But the technique can take us further, if we choose. Vipassana was not designed to manage emotions. Reduced stress is a byproduct, not the destination. The deeper purpose is insight. As you journey deeper, the first realization is startling. We have no control over our thoughts. The stream of memories, fantasies, and worries flows uninterrupted. We cannot stop it. We do not know what will arise next. We cannot focus for more than a few seconds before the mind pulls away. Later, we see how we are at their mercy. Each thought carries an emotional load that dictates how we feel in each moment. Along the way, insights arise, some small, some profound. For those willing to go deeper, a fundamental shift awaits. The ultimate goal is to understand, directly and personally, the three marks of existence. First, nothing in existence is permanent. Second, beneath the surface there is a constant feeling of lack, of unsatisfactoriness. Third, there is no fixed entity within us that could be called a permanent self. We know this intellectually. Physics tells us everything changes. Evolution tells us happiness was never the goal. But this is not a concept. It is a realization so deep that you live and breathe it. We are talking about a realization that transforms how you understand yourself and the world you live in. A truth that no longer lives in the mind, but in every cell. Vipassana does not promise a life without struggle. It offers something rarer. The capacity to be with struggle, without being consumed by it. Not freedom from pain, but freedom from the need to escape it. In that freedom, a different way of meeting life becomes possible. Once the mind learns to see body sensations objectively, as temporary physical phenomena without being swept away by their emotional charge, the urgency to react to outer events begins to fade. A sense of calm and groundedness naturally follows. Vipassana is a technique. It doesn't ask for belief, ritual, or faith. It only asks for a willingness to sit, to observe, and to investigate. The process requires consistent effort and discipline. The result is a gradual, yet fundamental shift toward a freer, more balanced way of living. The weight we carry, it can lighten. Not because the world changes, because we do.